So you're diving into the world of AI agents. That's awesome. But you've probably already hit a wall. Which framework should you actually use? It's a crowded space, and believe me, getting this first choice right changes everything. Today, we're going to draw a clear map to help you navigate it.
Okay, so you're ready to get your hands dirty and build an AI agent. You've got the big idea, the vision, but then you look at the tools out there and it's just, a lot. It can be totally paralyzing. Where do you even start?
Think of it this way. This isn't just a tool, it's the foundation of your entire project. The framework you pick today is going to dictate what your agent can do, how you can grow it, and honestly, whether you can even scale it down the line. It is absolutely the most critical decision you'll make right at the start.
Now, before we go any further, let's just make sure we're on the same page. What is Agentic AI? Well, in simple terms, we're talking about AI that doesn't just wait for you to tell it what to do. It acts. It can reason through a problem, it remembers what happened before, and it can use tools to get things done, all by itself.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to map out the whole landscape by sorting these frameworks into 4 clear families. Next, we'll figure out how to match your specific project to the right family. And then we'll wrap up with a final checklist to make sure you're ready to commit.
Let's dive in. The agent framework world can seriously feel like a dozen different tools all shouting for your attention. It's just noise. So to cut through that, we're going to group them into 4 distinct families based on what they do best.
Our first family is all about teamwork. You're going to look here when you have a problem that's way too big for one agent to handle. You know, when you need a whole crew of specialists to work together to get the job done.
And the big names in this space are CrewAI, AutoGen, and IBM's Bee. Now, all of them are built to get agents talking and delegating tasks, but as you'll see, they have very different ideas about how a team should actually run.
And this is where the philosophy really differs. CrewAI is like a formal business meeting. It's very structured, you define specific roles, you have a researcher, you have a writer, and so on. AutoGen, on the other hand, is more like a creative brainstorming session. It's a flexible, dynamic conversation between agents, which can lead to some really surprising and innovative solutions.
Okay, next up, the heavy hitters. If that first family was about collaboration, this one is all about building for the real world. We're talking about the big leagues, with all the demands for security, scalability, and plugging into the systems you already have.
You're going to see some familiar names here, right? We've got giants like Google's ADK and Microsoft's Semantic Kernel. AWS Strands is in this group, designed for super deep integration with the whole AWS ecosystem. And then there's Pydantic AI, which is just obsessed with making sure your data is perfectly structured and validated. That's a non-negotiable in most enterprise jobs.
Now, this third family cares about one thing and one thing only: your data. If the whole point of your agent is to become a world-class expert on your company's private documents, your databases, your internal knowledge, this is where you start.
LlamaIndex and Haystack are the 2 superstars here. They are masters of a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. And that's really just a fancy way of saying they let your agent connect to your specific data so its answers are grounded in facts, not just making stuff up. It ensures your agent speaks with real authority.
In our final family, this is where you find the versatile toolkits. You should think of these as the Swiss Army knives of the agent world. They're absolutely perfect for getting started fast, for experimenting with a bunch of different ideas, and for not getting locked into one specific way of doing things.
So in this group, you've got LangGraph, which is incredible for building complex agents that need to remember state and context over multiple steps. You've also got the very straightforward OpenAI Agents SDK and Hugging Face's Smol Agents, which is literally designed to get you from an idea to a working prototype in just a few lines of code. It's all about speed.
Okay, so we've got our map, we know the 4 families. Now comes the most important part, connecting these tools to what you are actually trying to build. Let's find that perfect match for your specific job.
And you know what? The process is actually pretty simple. First, you've got to clearly define your main goal. Then you just find that goal in the table we're about to show you, and boom, it will point you straight to the right family of frameworks. So let's just put it all together right here. If what you're doing is building a team of agents with specific roles, the multi-agent family, CrewAI AutoGen, is the obvious choice. Do you need to plug into your company's existing AWS or Azure cloud? Well, then you look straight to the enterprise family, at something like AWS Strands. If the whole project lives or dies on connecting to a private knowledge base, the data-centric family with LlamaIndex or Haystack was built for exactly that. And if you just need to spin up a quick proof of concept in Python, the general-purpose family will get you there faster than anything else.
So you've done it. You've found the right family of tools. Awesome. But wait, before you write a single line of code, there is one last crucial step. You have to do a reality check with the resources you actually have, your team and your current tech stack.
Seriously, thinking through these questions right now will save you from massive headaches down the road. For example, if your whole team lives and breathes C#, then Microsoft's Semantic Kernel is a way more natural fit than a Python-only framework. Are you already an AWS shop? Well, AWS Strands just makes sense. And how are you going to monitor this thing? How will you know when it's going wrong? That's observability, and it is so critical for any real project. These practical constraints are just as important as your big idea.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't just about picking some new tech off a shelf. This is about choosing the foundation that's going to make your vision possible. The framework you select today literally defines what your agent will be capable of tomorrow. So I guess the only question left is, what are you going to build?